pricing is up yet again, listings are up, and we also see sales are a little bit lower. Now, these are year-over-year numbers. The October real estate stats are out, and by the end of this video, I'm going to show you why there's such a great opportunity out there for buyers right now to get into the market, even though we actually seen a price increase month over month as well as year over year last month. My name is Ivaylo Stoyanov, your local real estate agent, and if you're curious where the market is going or what's currently happening, where it's potentially going, or how it's going to affect you as a buyer, seller, or investor, you're going to want to watch the rest of this video as I'm going to break down the 3 important metrics that we look at in real estate, which are how many new listings came on the market, how many new sales happened in the market, and of course, we're going to go over what happened with the price point last month. I will go over how the market is doing as a whole, and I'm also going to go over how the market or where the market might be going over the next couple of months or even next year. And then we're going to touch on as well what all of this actually means for your decision to buy, sell, or invest over the next coming months or even next year. Now, the very first thing that we're going to take a look at is the number of listings that came on the market in October. So without further ado, let's dive right in. All right, guys, so we're going to get into the GTA new listings first. I'm going to walk you through some of the more important things rather than taking a look at everything on these charts. So the first thing we're going to take a look at is the year over year numbers, which are right over here. So if we go to the month of October, which is last month, we can see that GTA new listings actually went up by 39% year over year. And the second thing I want to take a look at here is what happened month over month. So right here, we can see that we had a lot less, well, not a lot less, but I would say about 2,000 less listings on market in October rather than September. Now, why is that? The reason is because September has some of the highest inventory and some of the highest activity historically. So if we take a look at the charts, for the last 5 years, you're going to see that we get a little bit of a spike here in September, almost every single year in activity. And then as we head into October, we actually get a spike down. So there's nothing unordinary about what happened last month. We had 11% less listings on the market. Now, the news media might start scaring you of, oh my God, there's so much more crazy amount of listings since last year. Yes, that is correct. However, last year was the first year that the market correction really started. And that's why we've seen such a high level of listings, because a lot of sellers were just throwing their listings on the market at that point. Now, that's the 2 metrics that we really want to take a look at, and the graphs pretty much you're going to see follow a very, very symmetrical and identical year over year pattern, except what happened in 2020 over here. This is literally exactly when COVID started, and nobody really knew what was going on. So everybody just took their homes off the market, and listings just plummeted. And obviously you guys know what happened after that with listings coming up and pricing and everything like that. All right. So this is a little bit about what happened with the listings. It's nothing out of the ordinary that's happening right now. We can expect that next month and heading into December, we're actually going to see a decrease in listings as we head into the winter month, which is completely normal. If this actually goes up, when the rest of the years has gone down, then it's a little bit more of a reason to worry and say, hey, listen, what's actually going on in the market here? Are sellers starting to really panic? At this point, the charts numbers, nothing is telling us the sellers are panic selling. All right, so let's move on now to taking a look at what's going on in the GTA resale homes. Okay, so when it comes to sales, what has happened last month? Well, let's take a look at year over year first. Again, same thing. We had a decrease in sales of 6%, which again, it's a decrease. However, it's not a crazy decrease since last year. I would almost say that that's remotely flat. And month over month, I mean, we have stayed completely flat. Now, there's something interesting to say about these particular numbers. We've noticed that sales have actually stayed flat over the last 2 months while the listings decrease. So usually, without even looking at the price charts yet, I would be able to tell you that if listings went down but sales stayed the same, we're probably going to see a small increase or at least relatively flat in the pricing, and we did not go down. Okay, so same thing here. We can expect that sales are actually going to continue going down a little bit further over the next 2 months. Nothing out of the ordinary has happened here. And again, this is a lot of the news media that is scaring sellers and buyers of sales are dropping and listings are going up. Guys, there's absolutely nothing out of the ordinary that's happening, and the charts are showing us that. This is just regular seasonalities taking place, and we can kind of take a look at those seasonalities at least over the last 5 years and these charts over here. Again, we can most likely see that these sales are going to decrease a little bit further, but probably not by a crazy amount. Okay, most importantly, let's jump into what's going on with the pricing in the GTA. So since last year, or the same time last year, we've seen a price increase of 3%. Now, that's not saying much, because at the end of the day, we all know that we had a huge market correction. We can see that right over here last year, right? And that market correction kind of continued going into the December month. So again, nothing out of the ordinary happened here with price. We can see it's literally following almost the identical pattern that it's following every other year. Now, most likely we'll probably see sales heading into November, December being flat or coming down slightly. Every year, that's exactly what happens. In this year, we haven't seen any reason that it will be different at all. So pricing literally stayed flat. It went up by $6,000 on average since September, but that's pretty much flat. And since last year, we've seen about a 3% increase, which that's completely normal. In a regular real estate market, seeing a 3% increase in pricing might sound a little bit low, because we've been spoiled as Canadians seeing anywhere from 7 to 10% a year. However, in a market correction or a market correction time, this is actually a very, very successful year in real estate. And we keep in mind that we have the beginning of the year to really thank for that. As you know, during the summertime, we've seen a little bit of pricing come down, but then again, September and October have been relatively a stronger time when it comes to pricing. So that's a little bit about what's kind of going on with pricing. Now, let's just talk about where would pricing be going. Now, we all know that interest rates have been dictating the pricing in the GTA. The buyers, sellers, everybody nowadays is an economist looking at those interest rates, seeing if interest rates go up, pricing go down. If interest rates go down, pricing goes up, right? So it's just taking a look at that right now, without saying 100%, because nothing is certain, especially when it comes to Bank of Canada. But there's an extremely high chance that we're going to see a pause in real estate, in interest rates from the Bank of Canada, because the economy is slowing, not just in Canada, but globally the economy is slowing. So we're probably going to see an interest rate pause. However, they won't bring them down, at least until, in my opinion, they're going to start bringing them down sooner than this. But based on what everybody's reading, most likely at some point, late Q1, best case scenario, or starting of Q2, which is going to be around summertime. Now, once that happens, we can imagine that there's going to be a lot more buyers coming back on market. Now, when buyers come back on market, what happens? The sales start going up. When the sales start going up, we're probably going to see inventory also come up a little bit, because there is going to be those sellers that have been waiting and waiting for prices to stabilize so they can go on market and potentially get a better pricing for their home. And as soon as we see those interest rates coming down, we're going to see more buyers on the market. That's 100% guaranteed. Are we going to see more sellers? Yes. Now, a lot of the news media, again, it's going to be scaring you with bankruptcies and things like that. The numbers don't show. Of course, bankruptcies have gone up during this period. There's a lot of people in very bad situations, and however, there's not enough bankruptcies, at least not what's recorded right now, to suggest that there's going to be a market crash. And again, time will tell. However, what I am saying right now, if you are a seller if we're following these trends and these trends continue based on what's happening in the economy in the last 5 years, we're going to have a little bit of a rougher time with pricing and activity over the next couple of months. Is that to say that there will be no home selling? Absolutely not. Some people will argue that it's actually a great time to put your home on the market, because we all know the best time to put your home on the market is when there's no other homes on the market. And if every seller decides that winter's not a good time to sell and you're the only seller out there, well, guess what? You're going to be competing for those serious buyers on the market, because that's what, if you're buying a home in the winter, you are most likely a serious buyer ready to pull the trigger, not just out strolling around looking at properties. So if you're a seller and you're in a situation where you have to sell, I would suggest putting your home on the market over the next couple months. However, keep in mind, if you are waiting until next year, nothing wrong with that. We usually see activity and pricing start picking up in that February, March time. Do not wait until May. If you put your home on the market in May, you're most likely going to see this downfall over here, because in a regular market, it takes anywhere from 30 to 60 days to sell a home. Let's call it 30 days. If you put your home on the market in May, well, you're probably going to sell in June, and look what happens to pricing. So my suggestion is, if you are that spring, waiting for spring type of seller, not a problem, but look at these March and April times as a bigger opportunity for you to get the most bang for your buck. Now, if you're a buyer, don't wait. And I'm going to repeat this. Do not wait for interest rates to come down. These interest rates coming down are not going to do you any favors. Sure, you're going to save some money on your mortgage. However, you're not going to be saving. You're going to be looking at higher pricing. Now, you can always remortgage your property, but you can never go back in time and buy your property at a better price. So you have a small window of opportunity. I don't know if that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 6 months, or maybe even 8 months, but there is a window of opportunity right now for buyers. You're not going to get the exact bottom of the market. Nobody. Warren Buffett cannot hit the exact bottom of the stock market. You for sure are not going to be able to hit the exact bottom of the real estate market. I mean, of course, there's people that get lucky, but there's also people that win the lottery, right? So if you're a buyer, great opportunity, amazing opportunity right now, because there's a lot of other buyers that are waiting on the sidelines. Be that buyer that takes action. When there's blood on the street, you go and buy. When everybody else is fearful, you should be buying. And everybody else is in euphoria, you should probably be selling. Okay, so that's a rule of thumb in stocks, real estate, any investments. Okay, do what the crowd is not doing to get the greater. Thanks so much for watching this video. And if I was able to bring you any more clarity to your situation or provide you any sort of value from this video, it'll mean the world to me if you can click subscribe and turn your notifications on. That way, on a monthly basis, you're going to get updated right away. Or better off, if you have a real estate questions, just give me a call. I'm always happy to answer, and I'm always available to take the call. So if you have questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.